Hello everyone, this is Srinidhi, and today we have an Vastu expert. She is Krishnaveni J, and she has been a homemaker. And prior to being a homemaker, she had been working in a good job. And after that, she was completely devoted to her family. But one incident in her life had actually make her take one step ahead and become a Vastu consultant in order to take charge of her life and change the incidents that have been happening in her life. And welcome, Krishnaveni, today on this podcast.
Thank you, Srinidhi. Thank you for inviting me.
So, Krishnaveni, I'm actually so much delighted to host you today because we have been friends for almost maybe 3 months now, and we
Yeah,
have actually become so close all these days. Each day, I think we are getting more closer and closer. So, I would like to ask few questions, right, on a personal note. So, as a homemaker, when you were completely devoted to your kids, your husband, and taking responsibility of your family and fulfilling them, what is that one thing that actually had made you take this Vastu aspect specifically? Why not other things?
this is the most important part of my life, which has actually changed my life for good.
Hmm.
One sudden incident, though I was affected deeply by that, but that incident made me evolve as a person, grow as a person, overcome all challenges. One girl who was just homely, been confined to family and few friends, not much travel. If travel means it used to be to my native, to my mom's place or in law's place, it used to be like that. But now, that one incident, yes, it has grown me as a person. And I took up Vastu. That was the reason, that reason
Hmm.
behind that incident. And I'm happy doing what I'm doing. The basic core of anything for anybody, for a woman or anybody, like we do for our family with no expectations, with love, with care. So that kind of a feeling came to me when I came to Vastu, because I was into so many issues. Like we all have challenges in life. That's a part of life. But Vastu has given me that purpose, no matter what may come, to accept that and to stand in strength and move forward.
Okay, but why Vastu, Krishnaveni? Like we have many other fields, right? Like for example, in my case, when I was facing those ups and downs, I had taken up the life coaching. I had taken the
Mm.
help of a life coach to get the things back on track. So I want to understand the reason why specifically Vastu.
It's a very good question, actually. Because why Vastu? As you said, in your case, you took a different decision. For me, why Vastu? Because as I said, I have been into some kind of a situation where a lot of responsibilities came on me. And I was in a state to do something which will help my maternal family, my financial help they needed, my parents they needed. Then I was being a housewife, I had no clue what to do. Though it was around 1.5 years of that incident, but at that time I was just coping with that incident. But then the financial constraints increased for them. So that is when I had to take a call. What should I do?
Hmm.
Then suddenly, thanks to the social media, which we keep on scrolling the entire day, watching reels, watching other people speak, like that, one day I came across Vastu. It said, solve your health problems,
Hmm.
solve your financial problems, solve your relationship problems. And what I was going through was a health concern of my brother. Then I thought, if Vastu can cure health, what it is, because I had no clue about Vastu. What I had heard about Vastu is east facing houses, north facing houses. That's all. If somebody is
Hmm.
buying a house, they would see a east facing or a north facing. Apart from that, I had no clue of Vastu. But when I saw that post in Facebook, solve your health issues, which I was going through, I was suffering due to my brother's health issue. That's when I had to take up those financial challenges. I went to that Vastu course for understanding how it can help me to solve my brother's health problems.
Hmm.
And usually, health concerns, health is wealth. For everybody, health is important. So, my curiosity increased to know how it can help or how it can solve. So, when I started, first I started learning what it is. In that journey, when I was in the class, when we learn something, we always relate to our personal things. Okay, this is happening because of this. When I started to understand, Vastu is all about direction. Okay, this direction, this is something wrong. This direction, this is something right. But it is not same for everybody at times, because we are being ruled by our birth chart, our horoscope. Those things are also there, which comes later. But at that time, when I had to relate with my brother's thing, I could decode that reason why it had happened. Or possibly that could be the one of the reasons.
Mm.
Or if I do something to that, that could have solved. And Vastu starts from the place where we live in. And we live in a house 24 into 7, especially after the pandemic era. Everybody is confined to home, whether it is big business, small business, homemaker, business entrepreneur. Everybody was stuck inside the home or became big inside the home. Then, when was doing the course, not only health, it helps in so many other things: health, finance, your mental health, career, children's studies, solving problems like depression. I thought so many things are there in this. When I did the complete course, in the process of that, I came across this. First, what I did was I implemented in my house, did few Vastu changes, which I could relate that there is a scientific reason behind it. Because many of us believe, we don't believe. At that time, I didn't have a choice to believe or not believe. I just
Mm.
thought, let me try.
Yeah.
Let me try without any expectation. As I said, I was a housewife doing just taking care of the kids. Though I had been working before marriage, but now I was happy doing as a mother, as a wife, I was happy. But when this challenge came up and when I thought why this problem has come to me suddenly, and suddenly series of problems started coming actually. Then I thought, what could be that Facebook post showed me I did the course. Then I implemented those things in my house. Few changes, simple changes. And I realized there was one major issue in my house. And if we do something, family is also to be convinced. I told my husband, he was very neutral to it. Okay, you do it. It didn't affect. But I was little scared whether to do that or not to do that. Then, because course I had done silently
Mm.
without the knowledge of everybody at home, because I wanted to learn, and that was during very difficult times. Um, and very difficult times I did. So I didn't want to tell anybody that I'm doing. First I did, then I implemented. Within few weeks, 2 to 3 weeks, I saw I started seeing some change, something I could connect with it. Like if I had removed something from some direction, or if I had put something on the advice of the course, that has helped me. I see slowly life opened up. It gave me a small vision. Then 1 to 2 months, I felt lot of changes. My thought process changed. Actually, what we do in life is everything is related to our brain, our thoughts, our actions. Earlier, the life was like I was just following what I'm into a married life and I used to do this. But when this
Mm.
challenge came up and when I implemented those things, I saw that change in myself first. My thoughts, my mind, it's like my world opening up step by step.
Mm.
And in the meanwhile, I happened to share one small tip with a friend whose husband was going through a job loss. He didn't have a job for 2.5 to 3 years. Then I suggested some changes, and in fact, if I say within 2 days or 3 days, that would be wrong. Within a day, that person got a job out of nowhere.
Oh, wow.
They had an offer letter. Like today, I made a change. Tomorrow morning, he got an offer, and by evening, the offer letter was there. That was the key factor when I said it is working for me. And I shared this with my friend who was in need. I thought, let me try with them. And it showed up. The results were there. Maybe getting the result in one day, I might be lucky at that time. First, I took it that way. After that, it has happened many times. But that was the first incident which triggered, okay, it is actually a science and it works.
Amazing to know that, because when we think about Vastu, even I think in that way. It should be either northeast or north or east direction, then house is good. That is what I was also thinking about. And when I was interacting with you all these days, then I could sense that, okay, there are some of the myths. Basically, I had some of the myths that no, it's maybe some or the other myth, and just people are becoming superstitious about it, so I don't need to follow everything, but at least check the basic direction and get the home. So even for my flat, I did not get that thing,
Mhm.
but I just checked if it is in the east, getting the sun rays inside the home, if it is highly ventilated or not. Those were the things. So Krishnaveni, I would like to ask, can you burst out these myths on what is the science behind this vastu? Why do we actually need to check? And I see that, if I interact with my grandmother, she used to tell many things like Ishanya Mula, Vayu, like some names she used to tell,
Yes, yes.
eight directions, and she used to tell all those things. But I used to not remember them because I didn't pay attention to it. But I used to think that maybe, at least when I'm in Pune, the directions are something different. I could not even locate the things properly. So I was thinking, okay, let it be. There could be, these all could be myths, is what I was also thinking. So can you just explain us the science behind it, and can you burst these myths?
Yes, definitely. Because everything I implemented, tried and tested with myself. Here also, we also bought the house around 10, 12 years back, the place where I am living. And the only criteria at that time, I remember my husband chose the house just because it is east facing. And we took the house and we were living happily. And when problem comes, then we start thinking, right? When I learned it is actually east facing, but it was not actually east, it is little tilted towards southeast. I have a southeast entrance. So whenever we think it is east facing, it may not exactly be the east facing. And even though if we take exact east facing, but there may be other faults which may be major problems in the house. So
Hmm.
in my house, though it was east or a little bit southeast facing, I had a major vastu problem. So it is no guarantee that if you're choosing a east facing house, the other directions are not imbalanced. Imbalance in the sense we say that if a toilet comes, toilet is a negativity because in if you see in olden times, people for these activities they used to go outside. Now, of
Correct.
course, we cannot do. Why that was followed? There was a science behind it because it is a negativity inside the house. But if you see now, no harm nowadays to keep the toilet inside, but that has to be planned according to Vastu. But if you see in flat system nowadays, there are 4 to 5 toilets minimum in a house. So when one toilet means 30% of the Vastu goes. So
Hmm.
imagine 5 toilets, there is no Vastu.
Ah,
Other factors come later.
okay.
Okay, so if it is 5 toilets or even say 4 toilets, it is a possibility that minimum of minimum, one might come in a major Vastu dosh area.
Okay.
So that's how it creates negativity. And many people feel it's a luxury to have separate toilets these days with the attached room or something. It is not that. The more toilets you have, more negativity you're carrying in the house. And the second thing is there are a lot of myths about this Vastu. That is the reason that people are not open to it, even to try till times. It is
Yeah.
purely science based on the movement of sun. Like you said in the beginning, like people see it's north facing or east facing.
Yes.
I'd like to ask you a small question here. Do you have any idea why that north facing was told?
I heard that, like I heard it from my grandmother and my parents, that if it is north, like we receive a lot of money, and if it is east facing, the sun rays also enter home, so it actually keeps us away from the diseases,
You're
and the
absolutely
ventilation would be
right.
good. Yeah,
You're
this is what I
absolutely
heard.
right on both the parts. Yes, north gives us money. And when we see it is all about the sun movement, why
Hmm.
we go for morning walk to get that positive energy from the sun.
Correct.
It is all about latitude and longitude. When sun is at the farthest from the earth, that is when we receive lot of positive energy. We do yoga, pranayama, we do walking, morning, everything in morning time. Why? To receive that positive energy. And when we say north facing house means when a house is facing north, you receive all the good positive energy which is coming from the cosmic world that directly enters your house. As soon as you enter, there is a living room. It is an open area, whether it is north facing or east facing. So we are allowing the cosmic forces to come inside without any blockage.
Hmm.
So when the purest of the air we get, what is that cosmic energy giving us? It is giving us a pure air.
Correct.
When we inhale that pure air, then our body is healthy, happy, no diseases.
Hmm.
But when the north is blocked, if a house where the north is fully closed or east is fully closed, how that person will get the cosmic energy inside? So the air there is negative. And
Okay.
when we inhale that bad air, that negative air surrounding, then we attract a lot of health issues, lot of emotional problems. If north is blocked, north is the zone of water element, we get emotionally weak. So these are the myths which is around Vastu, that it's only north or east or south or west which is important or which is not. All directions are equally important.
Hmm.
Like five fingers are all are important. Like that, all directions are important. But when we say north facing, that is to attract good positive flow of energy. And there is also one more thing which is a big misconception in Vastu, that most of the people stay in rented house, right?
Correct.
According to the job, they keep changing. Many people ask, ma'am, we live in rented house, so it doesn't, we are not bothered about the Vastu.
Hmm.
But if it is rented or it is your own house, it is the place where you live, where you spend your family time, where you are giving 24 into 7. As I said, we are mostly in home nowadays. So
Yes.
place where you spend lot of time, whether you sleep or whether you are working for 14 to 15 hours. Like nowadays, almost everybody is in the laptop doing something. And if you sit in a particular area for a long time, if it is a good zone, it will give you good prospects. If you're sitting in some of those areas which are not so good, it will affect you in your job, in your work, in your family relations, in your mental clarity also. That
Okay.
is why sitting position, everything is important. And Vastu, if it is rented or it is own house, Vastu is Vastu for every place where we live in, because it starts with the place where we live and spend our family time.
Yeah. Yeah, when you told about these directions and its importance, right? So I have few questions, like the basic questions. Now I know only about the north and east. Even there could be many people like me who only knows about the north, northeast, and the east directions. So, what are the basic things that we'll have to keep in our mind while choosing any flat or a home?
To make it simple, there are various factors which we see when we are looking to buy or even a rent a house. First thing which you see is the main door of the house
Mm.
should be properly placed.
Okay.
It can be north, it can be east, it can be south also, it can be west also.
Mm.
For that, we follow a proper method to identify which pada the door is coming, even if it is south. That
Mm.
is when it makes auspicious or inauspicious. So the entrance is something which connects you from the outside world to your family world. So entrance is very important.
Okay.
Second, the Brahmastan, which is the center of the house.
Mm.
The everything originates from the center of the house. So center should be neat, it should be spacious, there should not be any heavy items. Nowadays, in apartment, of course, some wall or something comes in. There is also a way of saying, but as far as possible, centers should be spacious. One of the foremost important thing is when you stand in the house wherever you're buying, if you look at the northeastern part of the house, that is the most sacred and spiritual space. That is called the Devasthan.
Okay.
When we were discussing about the north and the east, I said that the cosmic forces come to our house from north and northeast.
Correct.
So that becomes spiritual place.
Mm.
So that area should be very good in a sense. It should be neat. It should be clean. There should be no negativity when you're buying or looking to buy a property. No negativity means there should be no, especially no toilet should be there, because
Mm.
it's a place of spirituality, place where we attract cosmic energies. And if there is a toilet there, the cosmic energy which is coming, that gets polluted. So
Okay.
that is what we call any imbalance in the northeast, we call it as a mahadosha. If
Okay.
the northeast of the house is good, 80% of the vastu is very good.
Mm. Okay.
And that is because northeast governs our mind.
Mm.
North is related to our clarity, our mind. And see, in life, whatever we take is based upon our decisions. If you do not have clarity in your mind, how do you take that decision? If your decision is not right, everything goes wrong. So, to get that clarity and to make that one decision right, it comes from the Northeast.
Okay. Understood. I also remember my mother and my grandmother saying that you should not sleep facing the south direction or something. Not south, I think it's north, right? North. You
Yes,
should not
not.
face. So, like, how does it actually impact? Because I have been searching for it because I always had a discussion about this, like with my friends and family members when they say, when I tell them that you should not face that north direction and sleep, and they say, what's wrong? But I heard it from my parents and grandparents. So I just want to, understand more from your end because you are
Yes,
an expert.
definitely. Sleeping direction makes lot of impact. If
Mm,
somebody's bedroom is in north and they are sleeping, they're keeping their head towards north, they will not get a sound sleep, because
mm,
Earth's magnetic forces act in such a way that, as I said, north receives cosmic energies which are very high. And
mm,
when that comes, when we are sleeping out to our head towards this, when that cosmic energy should come, it should flow into our house. But
mm,
when we sleep facing towards north, it just directly goes into our brain. It
mm.
is not advisable because of the magnetic forces which will impact our brain functioning. That is why we say we should not sleep towards facing our head towards north and west. You should always keep your head towards east and south for a sound sleep.
Okay.
You can
Okay.
just try, if somebody is having a disturbed sleep, maybe they wherever they may be sleeping, ask them to keep position their head towards east or south. It will
Mm,
definitely help.
okay. Understood. So, but in the recent days, at least, we have the gated community culture and all that, and the directions are in some way because when I was interacting with you, I was just trying to check the directions and all that. When I was talking to you, I was little confused. Southwest is the entrance and all that. So, um, but how do we overcome that? Like, in the modern day, like how do we select the basic things? Like you have
Yes.
told the north, northeast. If those are blocked, then what are the basic things? Like washroom is one thing, the entrance, any other things like workplace? Because I see most of these days, because of this work from home culture and all that, people are more into this depression mode or anxiety, the stress and all that stuff. So can you share any one or two tips where, like where how we can identify the right place for our work setup?
Definitely. Well, I'll share one of the recent incidents. It is around 2.5 months back. Though I have seen many cases like this during COVID times also. When person is confined to one place,
Mm,
suddenly they are being confined to home, and they choose a place in home as per the availability or for the convenience. We make
yeah.
our workstation, we start working. One person connected with me, and he said, since the time last 7 to 8 months, I am not feeling interested in my work. I'm getting very lazy and I'm not at all interested in my work. And his wife said, yes, he was not like this. Nowadays, I don't know what's happening to her. I did the mapping of their house and I found that he was sitting in the place where he might go to depression. There
No.
is a zone which we identify as a zone of depression. His workstation and his chair was exactly coming in that position.
Okay.
And that person said, before 6 months, I was sitting on the other side and I was working happily.
Mm,
Suddenly, I felt due to the spacing of bed or something, they felt this place is convenient. And since that time, he is having this problem. Again, what I did, I had not much thing to do in their house. I just shifted his chair and a workstation little bit in the same room itself. And within some time, 1 to 2 months, slowly he started seeing the difference. And in 2 months, he saw considerable change. He said, now I'm working happily. Now, and his wife also could note that difference. So the
Mm.
sitting place definitely matters, whether it leads to your success or laziness. It depends upon the place where you're sitting. That's why we generally advise people to sit facing north
Okay.
for everybody,
Okay.
because north attracts opportunities, north attracts money. Everybody wants money, right?
Yes.
So it
Mm.
attracts, it's a zone of money. In Vastu, we say north is a zone of money and it gives us lot of opportunities. Like we were talking, if north is blocked, little bit I shared. If north is blocked, where will the money come from? Where will the opportunity come from?
Mm.
Money will come from the opportunity, but opportunity is blocked because north is blocked. When
Correct.
you open up the north and keep the north light without any storage, without any negative imbalances, which we discussed, like toilet or a storage, anything in the north is not advisable. When you clear that space in the north, it attracts positivity. When you sit facing north, you receive that positivity and you are in a position to work in a better positive frame of mind.
Okay. Understood. I think I've got lots of insights today, and I think even the audience have got many basic things cleared. And I would really love to connect with you again to do. I have lots of questions, and we'll again connect next week, creating one more episode of this as a continuity to actually understand how can we solve some of the problems, or maybe many of the problems through Vastu. It could be health issues or wealth issues or relationships or career. It could be any of this. So I would like to again do one more episode, Krishnaveni, with you. And
Definitely. Thank you for that, because awareness in this field is lacking. So if we can create that awareness, how it is important, how it is affecting in our daily life, I'll share how in daily life, what all we can do. So one
mm,
tip before we end the session, I would like to share. One and first and the foremost tip of Vastu is to keep your house neat, clean, and declutter your house. Unknowingly, we gather so many clutters in the house. We keep on piling up things that it may be useful in future.
mm,
But when actually we need it in future, we feel that it has become old. Let me buy a new one.
mm.
So please declutter your house. That is the first rule of Vastu.
Because I really believe in this decluttering. I have actually done a short course on the decluttering part. If you have heard about the author of a book, The Spark Joy,
Spark
Mary
joy.
Kondo. Yeah, I really love
Yeah.
that. And once I read that book and had done the basic course on it, I started decluttering my home so often. So it brings lots of lightness in our home and in the mind, right? So I really love that. Yeah.
See, if your surroundings are happy, your surroundings are neat and clean, you are happy. When
Hmm.
you are happy and you're able to create a positive living space, all that you're working, you're spending time with family, everything will turn to joy. So the purpose of living is to live with happiness. And Vastu embraces to live in a happy and a positive environment.
Amazing, amazing. Thanks, Krishnaveni. And I think you have really shared the valuable insights, at least for a busy, like people who are busy working, and we actually ignore all those things.
Yes.
And we think that we are entering into depression, and whatever we try working on, they might be failing.
Hmm.
And this actually helps. Maybe, we can try it out, and the
Definitely.
audience can try out and share the views on about it. And I'll share you the link, like how you can connect with Krishnaveni, so that you can learn more about her good trainings and any consultation if you would like to. And
Thank
thank
you.
you so much. Thank you.